Hello, everybody, and welcome to the Baseball Beat, episode 12. I'm Dan Lovallo. This is my podcast. This is the video portion of my podcast so that I can put it on my YouTube channel, The Baseball Beat. So check it out on YouTube. If you're listening to the podcast, you want to go to YouTube, then you can watch this production, if you will, of the Baseball Beat. We're doing things a little bit differently with the Baseball Beat. We always would just focus on an interview that I did in the past, but we're going to update it a bit, use current interviews in addition to interviews I've done in the past, and also talk about what's making news in baseball. So let's begin there before we get to our interview with Danny Rodriguez. What a great guy Danny Rodriguez is. I've put my video on YouTube of my interview with Danny, but this will be the audio portion of the interview, which will be heard on the Baseball Beat podcast. But some stories making news in baseball. Maybe Manny Machado has a team. There are various reports out there that Machado is about to sign a $300 million contract with the San Diego Padres. And apparently it would include an opt-out after 5 years. But various sites are now reporting this. ESPN is reporting this. John Heyman is reporting it. There are various reporters out there saying that Manny Machado is on the cusp of signing a $300 million contract with the San Diego Padres. And that was always the sweet spot. That was always the magic figure with Machado. And that was signing this contract with the San Diego Padres. And this contract would, well, not only the Padres, but any team that's going to offer him $300 million, but signing this $300 million contract, that was the key for Manny Machado, and apparently he's got his $300 million deal. So now the big question is, where does Bryce Harper end up? Harper is still a free agent. Philadelphia Phillies supposedly are the team that is in the lead as far as getting that other big free agent. You know, there's been a lot of back and forth going on, particularly with the various players, members of the union, saying that once again the owners are freezing players out as far as free agency is concerned. And then Bob Manfred, the commissioner of baseball, saying, no, that's not so. The market is determining this. There's not an effort. There's not collusion on the part of the owners to shut out these players. But that is the latest as far as this contract with Manny Machado is concerned. And we'll continue to watch that story. Another big story making news. Bruce Bochy is retiring as manager of the San Francisco Giants after the 2019 season. He's had a great career as a manager, both with the Padres and the Giants. 3 World Series championships he's managed the Giants to. And now he's going to put a lid on his managerial career, it would appear, after the 2019 season. Chris Sale, will he or won't he sign a contract with the Boston Red Sox? He turns 30 on March the 30th. That's another big baseball story. Turning 30 on March the 30th. He'll be a free agent after this season. And, well, there is talk. Tom Werner, one of the Red Sox owners, saying that the Red Sox and Sale are talking contract. But if Sale has a sensational year and goes into the fall, goes into the winter, goes into the offseason next year as a free agent, imagine the amount of money he could command. But you say that initially, and then you look back and say, well, wait a minute. Imagine the amount of money he could command. Wait a minute. We're in a situation now where we thought, imagine the amount of money Manny Machado could command. Imagine the amount of money Bryce Harper could command, and we saw what's happened with the free agent market. But still, initially, if Chris Sale has a great season for the Red Sox and goes into the offseason as a free agent, you would think he could command a lot of money. So some of the stories making news from a baseball front. I love to do interviews, as many of you who have followed me know, and I broadcast games for the Hartford Yard Goats with the voice of the Yard Goats, Jeff Dooley. And the Yard Goats also have their games broadcast in Spanish on a Spanish-speaking radio station. And for years, the broadcaster has been Danny Rodriguez, and he's joined by his son, his sidekick, Derek Rodriguez. So the two are quite a tandem. But Danny Rodriguez is 79 years old, served his country, loves baseball, broadcast baseball in the United States and also in Puerto Rico, is a great, great guy. And during the baseball season, I had the opportunity to interview him. So here is my interview with Danny Rodriguez. Hi, everybody. I'm Dan Lovallo, and we are joined by Danny Rodriguez, who is the voice of the Hartford Yard Goats on Spanish-speaking radio, and was also honored on Roberto Clemente night here at Dunkin' Donuts Park as our hero among us serving in the United States military. Danny, first of all, congratulations on quite an honor.
Thank you very much. Thank you very much, Orlando. Like I told you before we started the interview, I just was doing my my duty, serving the country, serving my country. This is our country, and we have to preserve that democracy that we have. That this is why you find people talking what they talk, because people like, I don't know about you, but people like me and all the veterans and the ones serving to preserve democracy. That's what I serve. I feel very proud to being a veteran. Very proud to serve.
Now, you were born where?
I was born in Ponce, Puerto Rico, but I came to New York when I was about 16, 17 years old, and ever since I lived in the States. So most of my life over here. But I never forget my language, which is Spanish, and I don't think that my language is that bad either. So we're very happy, we're very proud to be in this country.
Spanish, by the way, is such a beautiful language, isn't it?
It is a language that you could express yourself in different ways with the same words. Okay, and a lot of people don't realize that. Unfortunately, most of the people, they like to learn Spanish, but they go backwards. You know, they come to me, I speak a little blah, blah. Right away they say something that is not the right thing. I say, well, that's Spanish, but that's no good.
How long have you been broadcasting radio, baseball in Spanish on the radio?
Well, I've been, I've been doing it for a long time. I started in Puerto Rico in Little Leagues.
Little League?
When I moved out there, yes. It happens to be that my sister-in-law, that she lived in Bayamon, Puerto Rico, Hilda Soya, she was the first woman president of Little Leagues in Puerto Rico. So when I got there, I didn't want to get involved because I said, I came over here to rest a little bit, and then, no, I know your background, so I want you to she gave me a team. And then from there, she knew that I was in radio back here, doing things here and there, and we started there back in, I don't know, 81. Right? It's a long time. I don't know, 81.
It's a little bit ago, right? Just a few years ago.
And then I did some boxing too. I did some boxing at Foxwood. The Cuban delegation, Olympic delegation, came to, to the state to exchange with the American U.S. Olympic team, and I did that broadcasting too. I did boxing too.
Wow. Amazing. Talking with Danny Rodriguez, the voice of the Yard Goats on Spanish-speaking radio. You played and coached baseball too, didn't you?
I played a little bit of baseball too. And also managed AA amateur baseball. I played in the Caribbean. I played in Europe, of course. While I was in the service. They have tryouts for everything.
Right.
Even it's something that is called special services. And if you have ability to do something, they let you try out for that. And I went for the team, and I guess I must have impressed somebody because they waited 1 month. Because before that, I have to do guard duty no matter what for 1 month. So they waited for me for 1 month, and then I did make the Armed Forces team in Europe. We went all over Europe playing baseball, yes.
Oh, what was that experience like, going all over Europe?
Oh, well, it was fantastic because I didn't have the money to do it on my own. So it was fantastic. I went to a lot of places, including Berlin, when they had the war, that they instructed us how to act. We went by train through Berlin, west to east, and then east to west when we came back, and we saw the Russian guards with dogs, the German Shepherd, big dogs, and some of the kids, you know how they were throwing oranges until the MPs, which is military police, came in. Hey, don't do that! You're gonna get into trouble. So then we had to stop. But you know how it is. We were just teasing them. But it was a beautiful experience, and I met a lot of people, a lot of good people. it's good to be places like that because you heard things, you heard this and you heard that, but until you experience that, then you could talk about it. A lot of people talk about things without opening the book.
Right.
You can't judge a book by its cover. That's it. The beautiful people. In Germany, I had a very good experience. I was very, very, very welcome in there. I never felt anything negative toward us.
Before we let you go, the greatest baseball player you ever saw?
Roberto Clemente that I ever saw, because I never saw Di Maggio, and they were good ball players, but Roberto Clemente was or I don't know, I still say is one of the, if not the best, what they call five-tool player. He could throw, he could hit, he could run, he could hit for power, and he could hit for average. He had everything. And then he was a great person, humanitarian. A great, great person. Him and his wife. Last year I met his son.
That's right.
Came over here.
Right here.
I had the privilege to interview his son, and his son was just like his father. Too bad he sent a message yesterday because he couldn't be here, and his wife. His wife, in case his son, the mother, she's getting into years now, and she can't travel that much, Vera, but she also sent a message, and this is a beautiful thing. I encourage and I tell people, if you ever go to Puerto Rico, try to go to Ciudad Deportiva, which is created by Clemente. And there's when the kids, the sandlots people, kids that they want to play baseball and they don't have the means, that the doors are open for that in there. It's a great thing. Clemente was a very proud person.
Yes, he was.
He was a very proud person, and he was a very smart person too. A lot of people don't know. He served in the military too.
Right.
Okay, he was in the Marines. Very humanitarian. Clemente was an engineer. People didn't know that, and he plays always going like this and making all kinds of. They have a name for that, hypochondria or something like that.
Right.
But I don't think he was.
I don't think he was.
He had an accident. He had an automobile accident, and ever since he was, but 4 batting champion, 12 gold gloves. I don't know if you know who Chichi Rodriguez is.
Oh, of course, the great golfer, Chichi Rodriguez. Yes.
But Chichi Rodriguez, he got a very good sense of humor. Chichi Rodriguez and Clemente used to play for the same team in Puerto Rico. So Chichi was telling us at one time that that the manager benched Clemente and played him. And then he said, that's how much you know about baseball.
Give us your home run call in Spanish.
Batazo largo por el left field, la bola tomando altura. Adiosito Cotolaurel, jonrón el batazo. Se fue para el otro lado. That's my call.
The voice of the Yard Goats on Spanish-speaking radio, Danny Rodriguez. Danny, thanks very much for joining us.
Thank you. Anytime. Thank you very much. Bye.
Well, there you have it, my interview with Danny Rodriguez, a great guy, man who has served his country, and what a broadcaster. And how about that call, his home run call, and the great story about Roberto Clemente. Danny Rodriguez, my guest on the Baseball Beat. That's going to do it for the Baseball Beat. Be sure to visit my website, sportscasterdan.com. You can also subscribe to the Baseball Beat at iTunes and the various other podcast directories. And if you would like to email me, my email address is dan@danlovallo.com. We're knocking on the door to another baseball season. I can't wait. And as always, thanks for listening, and for those on YouTube watching the Baseball Beat. I'm Dan Lovallo.